everyone. Today we have with us John Gleeson, the COO of Storj. John, welcome and congrats on your success.
Hey, thank you very much. It's great to be here, and I appreciate you having me on the podcast.
We really appreciate having you. So, to start, John, please tell us a bit about yourself and Storj.
So I've been with Storj for about 6.5 years, and um, my area of responsibility is mostly wrapped around customers. So I lead the technical integrations team who advises customers on how to take advantage of our service, customer success, customer support, and then some general operational stuff. And prior to Storj, I really my career is largely around enterprise developer tools for helping enterprises take advantage of technology to achieve kind of more technical goals. And so it's really been a great ride at Storj, starting at just kind of a very scrappy startup and building what is a fantastic product with high growth today, really driving some great innovation. So
Yeah,
that's a little bit about me and a little bit about Storj.
excellent, excellent. Now, I love this. You're known as a game changer for cloud storage. So please tell us a bit. How have you changed the game?
Sure. So Storj at its core is just a drop-in replacement for Amazon S3, right? So every application that can use Amazon S3 is immediately compatible with our service. But really, we're a fundamental, different approach to architecture, and probably the first one really ever. The main approach to delivering an object storage service is you take a data center, you stuff it full of servers, stuff the servers full of hard drives, attach some cloud, maybe some power, and you call it cloud storage. And instead of building data centers, what we do is we find excess capacity in data centers all around the world. We aggregate that excess capacity and we make it available as a single regionless storage layer that is 80% lower cost than the hyperscalers like AWS S3. It's 80% lower carbon footprint, and it's also faster globally from a single upload. And so this has really been a different approach altogether. So we don't own or operate any data centers. We tap into existing capacity. And so since most of the carbon footprint of a hard drive is caused from its manufacture, not its operation, by tapping into that existing set of power that or storage that's already being spun, powered, and cooled, we're able to deliver a solution that is really very friendly on the environment, which is unique for a cloud service. And so I think that just by the start of our architectural approach, we've really been very disruptive because we're not building buildings. We're able to keep the costs down.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing, amazing. Really great story. Now, very exciting. You just announced the acquisition of Valdi this week. Tell us how that will impact the market and your customers.
Yeah, so we started the Valdi partnership almost a year ago, and um, we started with the hypothesis that anybody kind of doing AI and ML workloads was going to need some place to store those training sets and store the data for inference. And if there were people looking to capitalize on finding cheap compute that could be anywhere in the world at the time they needed it, especially with a chip storage shortage, we were a great solution because we have really uniform global performance. So if you upload in San Francisco, you're going to get very similar performance from a single upload, whether you download in San Francisco or download in New York or download in Frankfurt, Germany. And so based on that set of characteristics, we figured we'd be a great fit, and we saw some early traction. We partnered with Valdi on that thesis because they had distributed compute, low cost anywhere, right? And so it was sort of a marriage made in heaven, the type of storage that fits with the type of GPU they offered. And so as we evolved, they actually offered a private labels version of Storj, which was called Valdi Persistent Storage Volumes. And we saw some
Ah,
traction with that. We started the Digital Sustainability Alliance, where both companies, with yet a couple other companies, are who are really focused on sustainability in tech. We started an alliance to really make sure that we could tell that story that, hey, AI is coming and it's going to use a ton of energy. And so we really have to be focused on how we can deliver that now in an efficient way. And so as soon as we announced really that we had this new product, the reception from customers and prospects was pretty amazing. So we had prospects who were slow to maybe try the new hotness in storage, but as soon as you said, "Oh, we've got just a stack of H100s laying around here, if you want to kick the tires on those," we got like really good engagement, and so it pulled a lot of deals forward with this sort of innovative new offering. And at the same time, what we found was that a lot of our customers who, the characteristics of somebody who's going to give decentralized and distributed cloud object storage a try, a new architecture, something different. They're innovators. And so immediately we found out that yes, they all have these latent projects going on doing AI workloads. And so they were all of a sudden like, oh, you've got chips. We need chips. So we're already got your storage, you're already in our accounting system, and we've got this great partnership. We love your support. Let's see what else you got. And it's really worked out well.
Ah, fantastic, man. Those are two extreme growth areas, right? AI and storage, and you're fitting those needs. That's great. Yeah, good for you. All right, let's dive into your use cases. I understand early in your company's history, you focused on backups. Tell us a bit about that use case.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, almost every new storage provider starts in backup because people usually have like three copies of the backup. There's, the hot one, the cold one, and the off-site one. And since they've got several of those, they're always cost optimizing, and they're willing to try new things sort of for that third one. And so we started seeing, a lot of use cases around media archiving and sort of having a cold copy, but they wanted fast performance if they ever needed to, refresh a full CDN cache or something like that. And so in the media entertainment industry, like that is sort of where people first got hands on with the kit. And so we really have focused more recently on expanding our channel footprint. So working with a rich network of distributors, working with a whole lot more tech alliance partners, working with companies like Adobe, like GB Labs, to make sure that we're fully integrated, and then testing with everything out there that we can. And so we found that we are one of the fastest providers out there with Signia Media Shuttle. We're one of the fastest providers out there with LucidLink. So you can use LucidLink with any S3 backend. We were faster with testing than both the IBM backend and the Wasabi backend. So
Oh,
in starting with that backup thing, it really started, snowballing into a bunch of other things as we started expanding that partner network. So that was a great place for us to stand. It's a growth area, um, but certainly everybody wants to get out of backup into the more exciting things.
yeah, yeah. And media and entertainment, certainly that's a focus of CineSys. Tell us about your use cases and growth in that area.
Yeah, and I think really driven largely just by the unique performance characteristics of our network, right? So we don't store data in just a single data center or make copies of it in two data centers. We actually encrypt it, break it up into small pieces using erasure coding, and we distribute those pieces over our network of over 20,000 points of presence in over 100 different countries. And so we get this great uniform global performance. And then the result of that is that for media workloads, particularly ones where people are doing remote editing or distributed editing teams, where there's camera to cloud in South America, but the video gets edited in Los Angeles, and rendering is done in New York, and something else is done in London. Um, Most of the time, you have to replicate that data around to keep the performance for those individual teams to work, but we're able to work in those use cases with one copy that's globally distributed. And so it's really had a huge cost impact, but also it's an accelerator for those teams as well. And so that's sort of where we're really seeing a lot of expansion right now is applications that are part of those workflows, and also working with partners like Hammerspace on globally distributed namespaces. There's just a lot of different areas where we're seeing really good expansion right now.
Got it.
All kind of around mostly around those media and entertainment workflows for the collaborative editing.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. And John, as you know, everyone wants to know about AI. You've already mentioned AI. It's a growth area, and it ties in with media and entertainment as well. There's all sorts of AI for the M&E space, but another growth area for you. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so a lot of the media entertainment companies that we work with also have AI projects going on right now, and whether it's using AI-driven editing tools or early stage AI-driven video generation, everybody's experimenting right now, and they want to try different things, and they're really not sure exactly what the best chipset is for the best workload. And so when we announced the Valdi acquisition, we got an incredible reception from our media and entertainment customers and partners because everybody has these projects going on, and having them integrated with the storage that they're already using, being able to efficiently to get that storage to those workloads wherever they are, and then try different workloads, different chipsets, different everything. That's been really a driver in terms of innovation. And so those those tools that are driving the innovation in the media entertainment industry, having those at our disposal and having those in the toolkit has meant some pretty impressive stuff for what we've been seeing. And it's just sort of the tip of the iceberg for some of those
Yeah.
use cases where we started with things like CDN origin and some of those like little maybe slightly boring ones, but now when you combine those use cases with what AI can do to accelerate them, it's really just been pouring gas on the fire for us.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, how does Storj balance the priorities of performance, security, cost efficiency, and sustainability? Now, your distributed architecture plays a big part in that, right?
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely right. Right, you hit the nail on the head where the distributed architecture is exactly what lets us sort of leverage all of those things. But I think where we really started was um, we knew that the approach would sort of drive a sustainable uh, outcome, just because of the work that we've done. And we've since published a sustainability white paper that's available on our website, and that really goes into depth in terms of exactly what the carbon savings is based on our service. And so that one was kind of like just a given going into this, that we knew that that was going to be the right direction to go. But then when you look at security, security is table stakes. Like you cannot operate a storage platform, whether it's built on third-party infrastructure or just at all, without really strong security and privacy measures in place to make sure that only the right people have access to the right data and that you're protecting the security and confidentiality and privacy of data.
Yeah.
And so what we've implemented there is really a first best-in-class approach to encryption, because we're storing data distributed across third-party hardware and lots of it. And so we need to make sure that our customers have confidence that their data is safe and secure with us. Our encryption is absolutely best in class. And the way we've implemented it is actually both a way that is necessary for using third-party infrastructure to operate a storage system the way we do, but also it ends up being a feature for our customers to use. And so we've really done some elegant things around the encryption that makes it very easy to share data, to store data, and to transfer data, all with absolute high security. And ultimately, the way that we have implemented has really got a really strong argument in favor of quantum resistance as well. And so I know that people look at security perspectives and they say, well, yes, as soon as quantum resistance or quantum computing comes along, every encryption thing is toast. But for the most part, all data is encrypted using AES 256 GCM symmetric encryption. It's authenticated encryption, and it's also done with encryption passphrases that we don't have, that our customers maintain. And so without the encryption information and using that methodology for encryption, it's pretty much the industry best in class standard for providing a resistant approach. And for applications and protocols that use signatures for validation of data or requests on the move, we're monitoring the space, but we don't believe that quantum attacks pose that kind of request at this time. But it's something that we are absolutely looking at. But it is the best in class security, and that so when you look at the sustainability, that was the foundation. Security is kind of a absolute table stakes no brainer. But then
Yeah.
the other aspects of that, of the low cost and the high performance, it's interesting. What we found was we actually lowered our cost so that we are the lowest cost object storage provider on the market. And early on, we weren't necessarily feature complete, but we just thought, oh yeah, if you just lower the price, everybody will buy it, and we'll just take uh, price off the table as an objection and find out what people really want. And what they really wanted was performance, which is counterintuitive. Like, oh, it's so cheap, you have to buy it. No, you don't. Not if it doesn't solve the problem you have. And so, yes, you have to have security. Yes, sustainability is a nice to have today, but becoming a buying trigger. But a combination of cost and performance per use case is really what has driven our growth. And so, all of that comes out of the distributed architecture that we've built.
Uh, Ah, amazing, amazing stuff. Yeah. All right, and now getting into a little bit about implementation. You provide hosting services for the S3 gateway, or customers can self-host the gateway, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah.
true. And the funny thing is, when we went to market first with the self-hosted gateway. We were like, this is the most secure end-to-end encrypted thing you can do. How about everybody use this? And the market adoption of that was actually kind of meager, right?
Hmm,
Because the
interesting.
feedback we got was, you're a cloud service. You host all the pieces. I don't host anything. All I want is the S3 compatible API. Got it? And so we jumped on that and we started hosting the S3 API. Today we have over 80 points of presence worldwide. again, leaning into that globally consistent performance through the S3 gateways. But we do offer a model for people who really are focused on security or who really want to capitalize on an environment where they have a lot of compute and a lot of bandwidth and they just want to own end-to-end encryption and own end-to-end the process. So we provide them a self-hosted model, and people are running those, in a variety of configurations. They're running them just in their own data center for sort of a ultra secure endpoint. And they're also running them inside of things like NASs, where they can actually get an S3 endpoint that's local, but because they have a lot of compute and a lot of horsepower inside of the NAS itself, not your sort of household consumer one, but really the beefy enterprise stuff. And they can get great performance out of that, plus the security story.
Mm, mm, okay. And next, John, your integration partners include Adobe, Signiant, Massive, Hammerspace. Some of these you've already mentioned. LivePeer. It's a pretty long and impressive list. But what should our listeners know about your community of integration partners and where Storj is heading?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a wonderful group of partners, and where we are heading with that group of partners is sort of in two main themes. One is easy to buy, easy to use, right? So just make sure that we work with the tools that the industry uses today. So if you look at the kit that's available for people in the media and entertainment industry, we have worked really hard to make sure that we are integrated with as many of those tools as possible. We've tested them and we've determined that we're delivering a user experience that is bar none the best for those users. And then, of course, the second area of this is being a little bit on the easy to buy side. And the easy to buy means that we're also integrating with the channel partners and the distributors that all of our customers ultimately work with anyway. And so the whole usage and adoption part of this, where yes, you can of course just sign up, swipe a credit card, and drive, is one way to approach it. But you can also just go through the systems integrators, through the distributors, through the companies that you work with today to support your M&E environment. And so that's really been I think the focus about the last probably 12 to 18 months has been really building out that channel experience to make it so that we're a seamless part of our customers' businesses through their existing business partners themselves. And so we're really excited about just expanding and continuing to expand those relationships in the channel side, and then also bringing more things into the toolkit to really provide full and solutions for customers, built with Storj and its channel partner products. And Valdi has really been an accelerator there because all of the channel partners are being asked by their customers, what are we doing in AI? And now they have a really good answer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, John, I started this interview congratulating you on your success. Just hearing you speak about your company and your solutions, we now understand why you've been so successful. So again, congrats. Thank you for spending some time with us. And I want to say as well how much we at CineSys appreciate being partners with you. So really, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, and thank you, right? And it's through channels like CineSys where we can actually reach a much broader audience and help bring the benefit and value that we do to the market to that audience as well. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. All right. Have a great day.
All right, thanks. You too.
Yeah.